Hi, I'm Garrett Bunzel, product manager at Versium, and I wanted to show you today how you can use Versium for Sheets to append your contact data. So today we're going to go through and demo a quick setup of a contact append using one of our custom functions. Um, if you haven't caught it, there was another video on installation and setup and kind of running through the menus. I highly recommend you check that out, especially if you want to get set up and running. But here we'll focus on just running a append and getting that set up so you can write your first append function. So today you can see we have some sample data. You might recognize some names. This is all fake data. We're not trying to show any PII in this. Makes it a little tricky to run it, but I think the focus here is really getting you comfortable with writing your first function, because that's kind of the biggest thing to get started with. And then once you're comfortable with that, then you can get to kind of really unlocking the full potential of the app. Um, as I said before, if you're curious on the functions that are available, you'll see all of our append functions as well as the associated header functions. I'll be covering one of those today, but the principles of creating the mappings will be the same across the others. It's just the inputs and the outputs are what vary. And again, if you're curious about that, you can always bring up our sidebar here to look up our functions. So today we're going to be focusing on contact append. And again, another helpful thing is, this will tell you your inputs and outputs. You can always go in and look at the contact append documentation we have for our API on our developer portal. One great section that I really like, which is available for all of our APIs, is the output types. So if you have a really focused use case and you're looking for phone or email, this helps you understand like how you would want to map. We do have some of that available in the app, but here you can get like the full output types, and the functions support multiple at once. And so we'll see that in a second. But yeah, let's go back to our spreadsheet and get to writing a function. So you can see we have some contact data. One thing I'll note too is when we write a function, you can map some of the data. You could do a minimum amount. There are like minimum requirements like you saw in that table. But really, if you have the data available, the to get the best match rates, you want to go beyond that as much as you can, and that'll give you the best results. So while you can meet the mins, if you can go beyond that's great. Um, so I like to just start writing, and every custom function for Versium for Sheets will start with Versium. You'll see a sampling of some of them, but the farther you write one out, you'll see that it starts suggesting what you're looking for. So you see we have two functions here, contact append and contact append header. We'll come back to the header. Let's focus on just really getting this written out. So I'll click on that. Now, this doesn't give us a lot of information right now. One of the biggest things that I recommend, especially when you're starting, is clicking the formula help here. It's F1 or the question mark. So if you ever click exit out of here and you don't know where it went, or you don't see that question mark, you can hit F1. But that really tells you what the mapping here will be. So this would be the same if you're a customer of Versium for Reach. This would be like doing your import step of when we do files in Versium Reach UI. So going off of this tells you how you're going to map your function based off of the data available. Now, we're going to do this for one row, but the great thing is this is a function in Sheets. So when we're done, we can drag this down and have it based off the first row's mapping. You can then go through and map the entire file quickly, and that will trigger the APIs, and you can quickly get results. So going back to where we are, we will navigate over here to the first name. We can select that. And you see I hit comma to make sure that that's the exact one. We don't allow any spaces in there. Then we want last name, hit comma again. And this way we can go through our file and say, in this case, I have address 1 and address 2. We can keep mapping those. If you're not confident in address 2, you could choose not to use it. That's fine. In that case, when we say like in a custom function that it's not in use, you have to put something in the function. So we quote it out with double quotes to just say like, hey, we're not using this, and it lets the API know that it's not part of the query. And that allows us to then quickly like skip it. If you don't do that, you're probably going to get an error. Our errors aren't unique to Versium for Sheets. They are the standard API errors. So just something to be aware of. The messaging does try to allow for, letting the user know if it's missing something or something doesn't look right. So again, like country is a good example. We don't have that in this file. So we'll just go over and I'm actually going to do a append on for phones. So we won't put in phone, but we will add email. Oh, see, misclicked it, but that's okay. We can just go right back in and catch that. I'm not going to put a match type. You can. It's household or individual. And then the output, this is important. So we're actually going to write the output type we wanted. So like I said, those are listed. There are some examples here, or you can check those out on the developer portal. But that will be our query there. And the nice thing about Sheets is it does color code your selections. So you can kind of do a quick check, and see. And then you just hit enter and you will get results. In this case, this is a fake person. So we're not getting any results back for Ross Geller. But this is a good example too of like if you have queried our API and you don't get a match. But you can see how quickly that ran, which is great. Then if we come back up here, we see we don't know what that data would mean or what columns those are. So we need to actually put in a header column. And what's cool is we can actually map the headers to those output types. And that way, if you want multiple outputs, like we have here, like address, email, phone, multiple, you can add those into the header and then have it match your output. So it's adjustable that way. That way you don't have to pick through columns that you wouldn't need. So in this case, we'll do like what we did in our previous query and put in quotes our output, and then we hit that. And there we go. We have our headers. So again, once you write your first function, like that's kind of the first step in really unlocking this and understanding how this tool works. And then you can go from there and just drag this down, and it will query your entire contact list and really um, add any of that information that you're looking for, that we have available, that we match to, um, back into your spreadsheet. Now, what you can also do, which is important here, is once you've done that, you're done, you're happy with your results. I know in this case we didn't get a match, but it's good to know there's two things you can do. Um, we have a function, and I mentioned this in the previous video, where you can replace your Versium functions with values. You click that, it will remove the function. You can also always copy and paste values. Both are doing the same thing. It's really just removing that function, so it's not going to run again. And I always recommend doing that once you're happy with the data you've returned. Um, yeah, so once you've written out your function and you're happy with the data, I really recommend um, copying that data and pasting it back in, or and pasting values. Or you can do this and replace the Versium functions. It'll come up with just a confirm, and when we confirm that, it's going to take your results and put it in there as text. Um, and what that does too is that allows you to just maintain your results and not requery the API. It's also good now if you like made any other want to make any other changes in your data set. You can start working with that data on your own, and be confident that you're going to maintain those results. So yeah, that's the first append. Um, if you have any feedback, or any questions, please reach out to sales or CS. The other place you can leave feedback is through the app. We have a leave feedback section which pops up a Google form. So feel free to do that. And yeah, thank you, and good luck.